Looks like we got a new friend!
Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back with some Dunera, and I am so hype about it. It's kind of ridiculous. So without further ado, please check out all the links that are coming up in chat now. That's where you can find links to our Discord and YouTube and things like that to become part of the community. Also, a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors who we could not do this without, in the form of Bird in the Storm, because that's what I drink my coffee out of every single day, and also Mage Ham Press, and you can find all of their links down there below. Otherwise, let's hop around and say hi, and we are going to start, as we always begin, with Jacon's Gold. Oh, hi, who did an amazing job DMing today, I just want to say.
Thank you so much. I was nervous. I had like all this giant adrenaline rush, and then I kind of crashed. But you know, I'm gonna get the energy back up again for Dunera. I'm so excited to be back.
Oh no, Jay! Oh, you're back. You're okay.
Oh no. Well, what I was saying is that I'm Jay, or Jagon's Gold. I'm super excited to be here. I play Paula Packer. She's our dancer, she's our librarian, and you know, she just saved some guy that just got shanked in like the middle of town square. So so I'm just like super excited to be back. Hi guys.
Awesome, thank you. And thank you, Kent Weebs. We love you again for those 5 subs. Thank you very, very much. Then we're gonna hop down to the very lovely Tall School. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. I am Tall Squall. I am so excited to be here. I had an amazing time with everyone up at Gen Con. I've been doing fun and exciting things at work all day today, and now I need to be grumpy gruff Tolan, and I don't know how that's going to happen. It's going to be bad. But I am Tolan Falk, who is a older ex-seeker who has lost his magic and is still has some secrets in his past, has sort of a shady past, a person non grata, whatever, probably not very welcome around town in general, but he's still here for reasons and things, and oh my gosh, season 2, I can't wait.
Season 2, perfect, thank you. And now we're going to hop over to the lovely V. Oh, hi.
Hi everyone, I'm B. I'm the crafting muse, and tonight I am playing Nadi Nakshatrilu. She is our little water baby who is very reluctant to go to the water, and she has her lovely familiar Prema. And she is reunited with her father, who's been away for a little bit, but unfortunately had a not so great time his first day back, thanks to the things that happened in town. So we're gonna see how things are going from there, because she's a little bit concerned over this whole magic thing and what has gone on.
Perfect, thank you. And last but certainly not least, Julie.
Hello, I'm Julie. I go by G Great Art, just about everywhere. I play Charlie here, who has had a tumultuous first season. I'm really glad that she's got her brother back, and we'll see where things go from here now that there's a large part of her past that is no longer a huge worry. So yeah, we'll see. I'm like,
perfect, thank you. So let's just jump straight back into where we were. And it's been a week since the incident at the season tree, and an odd calm has fallen over Karnan. There is something unsettling lurking within this beautiful city, a sort of a disturbance up in the sky, and shadows at every corner. There's a dullness that hangs in the air, and the vines have crept further down the many alleyways and up these brick walls. Buds and berries, almost like lanterns, lighting their way in the dark. There's a bite in the air and a brisk wind from the north, and the leaves have started to coat the cobbled streets as the autumn starts to creep in. But there is a familiar warmth of coffee clasped in palms, the feeling of a cozy chair, and the sound of a tail knocking mugs from low-sitting tables. And Avric's voice, who can't stay too mad at Clyde for long. And we find ourselves back in Broom Bindings a week after what happened. Are all of you already in there, or how do you enter Broom Bindings as it's its first day back open since the incident?
I'm assuming that Tolan is probably one of the reasons why Broom Bindings had stayed closed for so long, trying to keep Averick and himself, and just sort of trying to get an idea of what the city was going to be like. So I probably went over with Averick probably early. Brewing Bindings is a coffee place, so probably opening up right before dawn, which actually was perfect with Tolan, that the streets were still empty. And okay, now Averick, if anything goes wrong, we'll close it back up. We can go back to Aggie's. If anything is weird or strange, or if there's people who come in that were unexpected.
Tolan, it's been a week. It's fine. Don't get me wrong, some stuff's a bit weird around here, but I'm going to open my coffee shop.
It's eerily fine.
Yes, but it's not going to stop me from serving coffee.
Okay, fine.
I mean, you can come in with me if you want, and you can see Clyde,
Well, of course I'm coming in with you. I'm not going to leave you there by yourself.
You know, I've served coffee on my own before.
It's not about the coffee, Averick.
And he sort of tilts his head to the side, almost mockingly, and the keys go in the lock, and you hear those many locks all click and chang and open. As the door opens and the bell rings, and you see Averick almost straight away fall into place, setting up for the day, as he always has done, ready to open Broom Bindings.
Tolan, I think, goes over to his sort of normal table so he can... This time he sort of sits so he can see the door, though, and kind of keep an eye out. Sort of adjusts his chair around, whereas before he kind of, curmudgeonly keeps himself huddled down so no one can see his face who enters in. He's facing the door this time, and he knows that this is what Averick should be doing. I mean, it makes no sense. In fact, he was chafing a little bit at Aggie's house as well. His shop, he was more concerned about potentially being a problem than necessarily Averick's. But so he's chafing to get back to his home as well, as he hasn't now been there in a week. But for now, he can settle himself in enough to be comfortable there at Broom Bindings. And I assume as coffee starts brewing, he'll go over and grab one from Averick.
Averick, almost out of habit, pours you one, the one you have every single time, and comes and sits it down at the table, having a quick glance in the direction that you're just watching intently. Every time you see not many people come in, one or two walk past, some of them stop, have a look, and continue. Maybe one or two pop in. This is the first time it's been open in a week after all. People are wondering if it is open at all, as you see Averick go and flip the sign to open and sort of leave the door almost ajar, just to make it more obvious that it is, in fact, open.
I think Tolan grabs that same shelf that he's been working down, grabs the book that he was on. He's a dog-earer, which is terrible. I know, I hate it, but he is. And I know it's terrible, but of course Tolan just dog-ears those books. And he starts reading, but he's looking at pages and sort of looking over his bushy eyebrows, sort of looking up through them, keeping an eye on the door, his sort of salt and pepper hair, as always, disheveled, sort of thick and all over the place, sort of 2 weeks past being 2 weeks past needing a haircut. And
you see Averick moving around quite quickly, almost like it's been too long since he's been away from this place. You hear a clang as he puts a tin on the side and opens the top that Aggie wouldn't let you leave the house without. And the smell of coffee and that squeakiness from the coffee machine and the foam and everything starts to sort of feed into this little cafe, and it's starting to feel a lot more normal again. And how would the rest of you arrive? Would you be going to check to see if it was open yet? Because you've probably not seen each other for a week.
Well, I know that Paula is probably on her way to work when she walks past the cafe. She'd probably be dancing down the streets and spinning with her bags on her arms, almost like Sound of Music style, like I have confidence in me. The music's in her head though. She doesn't have any headphones in or anything like that. But when she spins past the door to Brew and Binding, she catches the whiff of coffee wafting out from the door, and she peeks her head in. She goes, "Guys open?"
You see Averick just like, yeah, no, please come in. Like almost like a desperation of, yes, I am open. And you can see him currently like writing on a blackboard inside going, "We are open, I swear," and putting it outside as he opens the door to you and drags it out across these cobbles. It's like, I'll be in just a second. I'm just gonna, and you sort of see him try to maneuver it around Clyde on his way out.
Paula starts making a beeline for the bookshelf in the back. Mm-hmm. When I'm sure she'd spot Talon sitting there.
Talon is right in the beeline of anyone who walks in the door.
Oh, Talon. It's been a while.
You're muted, Talon.
He gruffly grumbles to himself until he unmutes his mic. Paula, how are you?
Day by day, we're just kind of figuring it out. A lot's happened since I've seen you last.
Yes, I heard you met with the Seers, and I assume you were at the announcement.
Oh my gosh, that feels like centuries ago, if I'm being honest.
Yes, it's been a strange week.
Do you mind if I sit with you?
Oh, sure, that's fine.
Averick gives you a look on the way back in. As he goes towards the coffee, you could see not a glare, but it's almost like, do it. Like a don't be rude kind of thing. This is my only customer right now. Sort of look. And thank you, Kent Weaves, for that auto success for me.
Kent.
Kent's my enabler, so.
No. Don't worry, Talon, I won't be too chattery. And she'll like grab a book off the shelf. Probably one that she's reading too, but she only comes here now once every couple of weeks, so she's slowly making her way through this book.
It kind of gives Talon a smile, thinking, "Oh, nice quiet Paula's back."
Yeah, and just like old, nice, quiet Paula, she'll sit quietly with her book. And
I think a small smile creeps on Tolan's face as he sort of looks back down at his book. Things are feeling normal.
And how about Nadine and Charlie? How do you arrive? Do you arrive together? Do you arrive separately?
I could see them arriving together, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was picturing on my way back with like groceries or something, and we just happened to pass by and be like, "Whoa, it's open!"
Yeah. Especially because, Charlie was helping with the greenhouse and everything like that, and there's a little something that Nadi wanted to show Charlie.
And you can see the sign outside. You can see this blackboard sign, which you haven't seen before. This looks like a new addition. It looks like someone's tried to draw like little wispy vines around the edges, an attempt of something artistic, but it's really not great. But you can smell coffee.
I think they're open.
I mean, I think they're trying to make a point that it is.
It literally says open in capitals, like
Open, I swear.
Nadi will tap that signboard. You can see she's tempted to try something, but she almost pulls her hand back like she's touched a hot surface before going inside where that sign is. Yeah, let's see who's there.
Well, looking through the window and see our two people we know. And
you see Tolan and Paula in there. There seems to be someone else at the far back. You don't recognize them. They just seem to be someone who has genuinely come in for their morning coffee, and they're sat there with a newspaper, and you can see the title on there is something to do with what happened a week ago, last few weeks' events, and it says a calm in Kanan.
Nadi would probably take one look at Tolan and go, "Hello, Mr. Tolan, sir!"
Bell ringing as we both kind of shuffle in.
Tolan looks up and, well, that didn't last very long, now did it? Nadi, yes, Charlie. How are you both?
Well, doing pretty good, all things considered, and, hello, Paula.
Hi, guys. Good to see you again.
Yeah, long time no see for long time. You guys okay? Everything considered?
I'm fine.
Fine.
Yeah, okay, that's a loaded word. And she's gonna grab a chair and just like sit down, and she's gonna like take this backpack off her shoulders and kind of tuck it to the side.
I was kind of looking around. I'm gonna set my stuff down and go get tea for me and Nadi.
Yeah, Averick sort of greets you with that usual smile. You've noticed now when he puts the tea on the tray for you to take over, there's no more biscuit on the side, which you recognize that biscuit sort of form anywhere, as they now seem to be going out with every cup of tea and coffee from the sheer amount of these biscuits that there are. And he gives you a smile and he's like, I'll come say hi in a second, and hurries off. There's another 3 more people come in, again sort of like etching in and looking just to see if it is actually open, but they do wander in, and you can all sit down at this table and drink your tea and drink your coffee. And this is the first time you've seen each other probably in a week, if not at least a few days.
So that was one hell of an announcement, huh?
Yeah.
Averick and I actually left early, but when we passed back through, obviously quite a commotion.
Yeah, that was, what did you see?
Well, the deacon got stabbed.
Yeah.
We suspect it, but...
I mean, he's alive.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, good, because,
But...
Okay.
I think we have a lot to talk about.
Well, yeah, I think that's, pretty safe thing to say, all things considered.
I guess I could tell you, from my perspective, what happened, and then we can each kind of share what we know. I led the deacon and Matthias to a safe place after the stabbing. We managed to stabilize the deacon, but it seems that he was targeted by the church. And I told Matthias, wait, shit, I'm already losing track of shit. I told Matthias to turn himself in, and I don't know if that was such a good idea, but he seems okay now, and we haven't really spoken since. I mean, very little texting, so I don't really know what's going on, but it just seems not good.
So Matthias stabbed Deacon Marcus?
No. Let's be clear. Matthias did not stab Deacon Marks. I have no idea who stabbed Deacon Marks.
So
You said the church? Why is...
Yeah, just a feeling.
Oh. I mean,
you're not wrong. So there's someone who I was avoiding, trying to, for the better part of the year, and he was hired to, I don't know if it was to kill him or just hurt him, but it was the church that hired him.
oh. Are you okay, Charlie? Like, do you need help getting out of something bad, or...
No, actually, I'm better now than I have been in a while. He's not a problem for me anymore. Or anyone, I think. He's laying low.
This wouldn't happen to be someone where, maybe has a large cat type of situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's this about a
Hey,
large
there too. So he is also a magic user. His Inanakwe is a large kind of panther-like cat. Tufa used to work for him.
That's kind of where my brain was going, yeah.
And so did I.
You mentioned big cat, and then she's mentioning big cat, and mental note, we need to check out Tuva. Make sure she's alright.
She's fine.
Wait, who's Tuva?
A little girl.
The one who broke into my apartment, actually.
Oh,
But,
it was her. That was
Yeah.
Tuva?
yeah.
Wow. That rascal.
She's very smart little girl, very clever, very fast, and effective.
So
Colin, it looks like your brain going to break.
well, while I've never had dealings with them or truly been able to find them, there's sort of an undermarket for illegal or black market artifacts into and out of the city. My old days of seeking, there was some less savory seekers who would sell off artifacts that they had found to the highest bidder. They took them to a place, something sort of in between the buildings, under the streets, the knot or something like that.
Tangle.
Yes. He looks, when you say it as quickly as I, he kind of like, oh, yes, yeah, and then just gives you this hard stare at who you're dealing with.
Someone. There's a lot of people down there.
You've been there.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Interesting.
It sounds like we have a lot to unpack right now.
So if I'm clear, we know who did this.
Indirectly.
Should we turn them in?
I mean, he was the one hired to do it. I don't think.
Yeah, how do you turn in the person if they've been hired to do the job?
So the church hired this gentleman with the cat to stab the deacon.
Mm-hmm. Or, I don't know if they just specified.
To
That's
attack
how it happened. Yeah. I guess to cause unrest more than there already was.
with such a large and obvious Inakwe, how did they not spot him, or that? How was he not captured?
Magic's funny like that.
Isn't it, though? Well, the church has been known to twist things to their advantage before.
Yeah, that's kind of true, huh, Tolan?
Are they the ones who put out the news?
They have someone's tampering with the news. I know that much.
Because, like, just pointing over to the headline over across the bar, like, I haven't heard a thing. I haven't seen a thing. I mean, sure, it is in fact quiet, but I think that's on purpose.
Well, and literally the brand new archdeacon gets stabbed, gets rushed away to a secret place to be triaged.
Well, that was
an article. That's not news. That's very odd.
A lot of people saw it. There's, like, most of the city was there.
And yet no one's talking about it, and nothing's in the headlines.
Everybody's thinking about it, they just don't want to talk about it. You know.
I did.
And I know it's a cliche, but it's too quiet.
Well, maybe on paper and voices.
I look around us to see if anyone's paying attention to this conversation we have.
You roll me an intellect check, please.
Oh, damn it.
Now the fun is over.
I'm assuming we have all long rests and this sort of stuff, so
Yes.
Our pools are all full and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? No. Focus probably isn't that, because this is a general perusal. So here we go. First roll of season 2.
Hey,
Man, that's a 2 for season 2. Yeah.
nice.
Oh,
That was on purpose, everyone.
you see nothing.
Yeah.
You see absolutely nothing. You think this place is the safest place in the world.
Well, at least we're here and can talk freely. Damn it. Who's gonna sip my tea over here, Alice?
I know.
My tea.
You keep on sipping your tea, you'll be fine.
Hearing that, Nadia will lean into like, did you like eat your head or something? Because, normally you're more like, very conspiracy theory, make sure nothing's,
Actually,
We've only been open for half an hour. Hopefully
okay, it's true.
no one will drop a tram on us for another half an hour.
Good, knock wood.
if the person who is reading the paper is done at least with the front page, could I ask, like, can I shuffle over and if you're done, do you mind if I pick up where you left off?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I'm just taking the. You can see him taking the quizzes out and putting them down.
No, please.
Yeah.
I'll bring it back.
Oh, okay. Cheers. And he sort of goes back to sipping his coffee.
I want to see what's actually written, or at least like peruse, like
you can
what details they are giving.
It's a very. There doesn't seem to be a lot of intensity on the story. You can see how it's saying that Kanan is calm, everything is fine, the church are looking after the people. And you can also see that the deacon has been taken into the care of the church since being attacked by what can be presumed as a magic user that was not in agreement with the new things happening, or sort of prospects of things happening. It does not specify anyone. It's very loose. It's very loose. It's almost open for interpretation.
Are there any details about how they are planning to keep the peace? Like what kind of monitoring is going on? Or as I've been kind of around town this week.
Yeah, you can both from reading this and also from being around town. Watchers are everywhere. They've sort of doubled in their numbers. They're not patrolling the streets, but they're at every corner. They're at many establishments, especially big ones that either have a lot of magic users or at the academy and around the church area. And you know that there's always two on guard by the season tree where the accident happened.
I'll bring it over and sit back down. Nothing else special today. They don't say anything about who might have done it, or who might have done it, and even anyone to look out for. So you think there'd be like a reward or something?
I swear at some point I want to go to whoever is publishing these newspapers and I will teach them a lesson because they have been keeping the population ignorant, treating us like sheep.
Okay, then.
Toliv's eyebrows.
Wow. So, is there more to what you know, Paula, maybe? Because, I mean,
if you were there,
yeah.
What's up? Do you guys know anything? See anything?
I wish I knew more. I do know that the last couple articles that the newspaper have posted have been very skimpy on the details, but that does not necessarily mean I know what actually has been happening, because I really don't. I mean, I was there when the deacon got stabbed, and I'm glad I was there to help Matthias and his brother out. But you know, it's not like the deacon was in any mood to talk. I mean, he lost a lot of blood. And you know, I've just been trying to like refocus on my work and just get back to some semblance of normalcy. So I don't, you know, I've kind of been distancing myself a little bit from all of that.
Nadi would take Paula's hands at this point and kind of like just look at her like, Paula, have you talked with anyone about this, or is this the first time you've been talking to someone?
I don't need to talk about it really. It's fine. You know, it's
well, we keep hearing this word fine, and I think we can all agree that fine has a lot more behind it than just 4 letters.
Listen, I have work to do. We all, and life moves on. So I'm fine. I wasn't stabbed. And I helped out the person who was, and I feel good about that.
Does it really take stabbing you to slow you down?
No. I mean, like, I'm sure there are other horrible things that could happen.
I mean, in general, do you ever rest?
Yeah. She flips open the calendar. You see, I have it blocked out.
Well, with you saying that it was touch and go with the archdeacon, we have two possibilities. Either Deacon Archdeacon Marks is far more zealous than even I would have thought, or there's in fact someone within the church who wants him dead. That the church itself is divided in this.
Nadia would let go of Paula's hands.
Archdeacon. Is that a thing that, like, he's as long as he's alive, he's still gonna be that? Like, does it get passed on? I don't know.
I don't know
How it
anything
works.
about the church.
Well, I mean, someone was trying to make a martyr of him, but he hadn't really done anything. There was just an announcement. That's what made me suspicious, that at such a benign announcement, a point in the speech where it just said there would be changes and not necessarily some big proclamation about what was coming that would really mentally break someone, it felt almost premature. Of course, on the same note, if you're trying to manipulate people, you want to make the aggressor seem like the totally unreasonable one, for all of us to say, well, gosh, that wasn't that bad, and yet this person, this crazy magic user, flew off the rails. But I think the real question is Archdeacon Marks someone who would risk his own life to make a statement, or would someone else not want Deacon Marks to become the archdeacon? Or did our friend with the cat get a little bit taken up in the deed? There's a lot of gears moving here.
We could always give the archdeacon a call. I mean, I haven't spoken to him since the attack. I guess I could check in
the
on
guy's phone number?
Yeah. I mean, he was hanging around the university a couple weeks ago, and I don't know, we had something of a connection.
Toland starts to chuckle to himself. Oh, yes, I would love to give him a call and wish him well in his recovery. It's probably the first time you've seen Toland smile. And
it's frightening.
Giggling a little bit manically to himself of the idea of Archdeacon Marks on his sickbed and getting a call from Toland wishing him.
Nadia would like elbow him quickly. Like,
yes, of course. No, of course. I would never do such a horrible thing.
Well, you don't have to talk, but I can put him on speaker.
And maybe make sure he knows he's on speakerphone, because last time that happened, it did not go over so very well.
I was being polite.
You know, it was kind of shock or surprise, he'll hang up. But, you know, it's up to you. If you want to maybe have a conversation with him on the phone, we don't necessarily hear him, see if maybe he's more inclined to speak to you. It's completely up to you and literally your call. Stop it!
That was a good one, Nadi.
Charlie, you feel like a slight tap on your shoulder, and you see Averick sort of come over and he sort of taps you on the shoulder, pouring tea, like topping up your tea. It's like, and points over to the window, and you can suddenly hear this knocking. And as you look over to the window, you see this little girl, as you see Tuba, like, waving and like pointing at the door, like whether to come in. And she sort of like shuffles in with this red panda sort of rolling through over the threshold as she does. And she sort of half jogs, half like runs towards you, sort of comes to a halt, hands behind her back. It's almost like she only thought Charlie was there, and then the others here were almost like a second. Oh, are you busy? Am I interrupting?
Well, no. I mean, maybe you saw something else. We're talking about the issue at the tree.
Well, that was like a whole week ago.
Yeah, and still nobody's really talking about it, and it's kind of weird.
It's because it's literally last week's news. Anyway,
Like, and she sort of like leans into Charlie and is like,
I need to show you something later. You'll be really proud.
Okay.
Okay.
and she sort of like looks at the others, passes over Nadine, thinking, oh no, don't say anything if I've done something wrong, but looks back at Charlie's like,
I can meet you somewhere else.
and
Sure.
like brings her hands and is like, you know when a kid can't stand still and they fidget, and stretch their arms, they start doing like
Yeah, no. I mean, I've got to drop all this stuff off at home.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know, an hour or so.
Okay, no, I can do that.
and sort of like lowers her voice. It's like,
You need to wait until dark anyway.
Okay.
and she sort of starts shuffling out, and Averick watches her go, like lifting up this tray of tea as she sort of just almost barges straight past him.
Bye-bye, Tova.
Bye! And just sort of like does a wave back. You see her leave through the door, pause, lean back through the door.
It's like, by the season tree?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and then she starts sprinting.
She's up to something.
She always is. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Wait, just to be clear, we're now friends with the person who broke into your house.
Who was
yeah,
that?
that's
That's Tuva.
yeah. She's a very sweet little girl.
And she broke into your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
She made up for it though.
Yeah, no, her mom runs the noodle place downtown. Yeah, no, they're really nice.
Chickens noodles.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know
Wait,
that.
she's the one that fixed up the archdeacon,
I'm sorry,
Oh.
what?
the owner of Jin's Noodles.
She's a doctor?
She's Matthias's boss.
She did go up there.
Hold on a minute, what?
She's a doctor.
But Matthias is boss? He works for a doctor?
Oh no. He
At
has
the noodle bar.
a part-time job at the noodle bar.
Oh. Well, that makes a lot more sense for him because, it's not as much of a demanding job and considering what he likes to do in storytelling. So, okay, so yeah. Whoa.
It's a small town.
There's a lot of connect dots right now going on.
Yes. Well, and
Eh,
We-
oh.
Hmm.
Okay, so we have Matthias's boss is Jean Noodle's owner, who's also Tuva's mother. I need to get a notebook out for this one because this is like a little bit too much going on, and
well,
you're better at this, Tolan.
just look at us. Looks to Charlie, someone who is familiar with the Tangle and the Underground, the Blightbringer. He sort of looks over to Paula and Nadia. I was like, is there anything you'd like to tell us?
Not everybody has this big secret past, Tolan.
Just my father's home, staying for a while, yay. We saw the figure ran up and stabbed the archdeacon, and then he took me home. And, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Librarian dancer.
I mean, I know my mom had something she wanted to tell me, but we didn't really leave things on such a good note. And the last week, we haven't really spoken much. But, I'll keep you posted if anything comes up.
Wait, you went to the church. You were on your way there when you called us.
Oh, yeah, that was weird. Like, oh my gosh, that was so weird, guys.
What
Wait.
happened?
So the seers, yes, they're very disconcerting. I had to face them. Well, of course, they called me in after the incident
Yeah.
with the Gardenia district. They are not fun.
Who are they? What do they do?
They have magic, but they don't have an Anakwe.
When? No. Wait, time out. They
call
Oh.
themselves blessed.
They're blessed not to
Fine.
have an Anakwe? That seems like the reverse.
Listen, I don't know how they do it, but it was almost like they scanned me to see if I was telling the truth or something. And I was, so I guess I got off the hook.
You mean like in here?
Yeah. And they have like wind chimes all over, which I mean was cool at first, but like as you're going through the field of wind chimes, it starts to kind of like mess with your brain. It's kind of freaky. It's super wild. You guys have to go in sometime. I mean, it's also very beautiful.
Thank you, but no thank you. That is...
It's an intrusive experience. Meant to disorient.
So
Sorry?
much. Or is it the place itself that has magic?
I had just been through the accident, and I was a bit out of it when I was up there myself, but they're able, they call them the seers, they are able to discern truth, it seems. They have the one who speaks and the other who watch. The best I could tell was that the others cross-check your answers by all of them agreeing. They nod a lot. Like I said, I was in not a great space to dissect what was happening to me at the time.
And I was just kind of fascinated by it all. But, it was really weird. And then my mom showed up and she was not in a mood. I think she was like concerned because I wasn't answering my texts. They wouldn't let me bring my phone in. But
Your mother showed up at the chamber of the seers, uninvited.
yeah, apparently she used to work for the church. I don't really know all the details. It was a very heat of the moment kind of conversation, and I was just not having it. But she's like not working for them now or anything.
Your mother worked for the church.
Yeah, apparently, like that's how she met my dad or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Like I said, I'm gonna have a talk with her at some point. But listen, I don't want to unload all this on you guys. This is my problem, not yours.
Well,
Um,
we keep finding ourselves in the middle of trams falling from the sky, of crazy announcements of attacks on the Academy Library. I'm not sure. The magic of this world is an interesting machine with all sorts of parts to it. Yet we keep finding ourselves with connections that we didn't ever know about. Nadia, you say your father's back.
Yeah, he was supposed to go on another trip. He said short on this time, but after last week, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to leave me alone right now.
Do you recall where he was going, or where he came from?
It was kind of a rough night for me. I don't remember as much as probably I should. I didn't really bother asking again after he said he was going to stick at home for a little while.
Yeah, suddenly we've got.
I mean, I could go home, ask him, and I mean, if you want to come along and have questions for him, I could introduce you to Papa.
Oh, that might not be a good idea.
Why not?
Well, he's your father. He would certainly probably know me by reputation. He would have lived through the blight and destruction of the Gardenia district. It could be a volatile combination.
Yeah, I guess that could be something of an issue, huh?
I recall, while I was a bit discombobulated, and Paula, you were there the first time, Averick was called in with me 8 years ago, and was called in again just a week ago. I sort of look up Averick. Is he back behind the counter?
He sort of hurries over and was like, yeah, and you see him, he's got like a teapot in his hand, like thinking you want to top up. Doesn't see it. This is a very quiet day, considering it's the first day open again. He's like, what?
Paula and I were just comparing notes. Mine being 8 years old, hers being her first time. However, you were visiting the Seers for a second time just a week ago. Was there anything? Can you recall any differences between that time? I know you were right after the accident as well, and not in your best mind.
I'll be honest, I don't remember much from the first time. But this time, like I said, they asked about Aggie.
They asked me about Aggie too. Or actually, that's not true. I mentioned Aggie.
You mentioned Aggie?
Yeah, because I was telling him about the shadow people, and Aggie said that she had the shadow people following her around too.
What?
So that's probably why they asked you about Aggie.
Well, and we ended up taking that boy to Aggie's after the attack. They would have... You did what you should do. Tell the truth as best you're able. You don't want them to know that you've lied.
You don't lie to the Seers.
I mean, I don't know why I would have. They said that they were trying to help. I mean, now I'm questioning things after everything Charlie said. I don't even know anymore, just... But at the time, it made sense for me to tell them the truth from my perspective. Yeah.
It clears your name, so that's, well, hopefully.
Is it that you don't lie to them, or you can't?
I don't know, but put it this way, they can tell if you do.
And then what?
Why don't I? I haven't lied to them.
I mean, I know they're creepy, like the vibe I'm getting is hella creepy, but what's so scary about them?
And Averick sort of looks towards both Tolan and Paula. He's like, I don't know. You'd have to sort of see him to get it.
Like, what do they do?
Ask questions.
And they're all like doused in gold, and it's kind of spooky.
And they talk in unison.
Oh yeah, they talk in unison.
Uh-huh. Like, and Averick sort of nodding over at Paula is like, and I know people don't want to be questioned by him. It's unsettling, I think is probably the word I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I know the church is a big part of the power of the city, but
it is the power of the city. Let's be honest.
I thought the season tree is more of the power of the city.
well, the undercurrent, yeah, but
Alright, so
doesn't really talk.
clearly there's some extra stuff happening over at the church that we weren't exactly aware of in full, all of us. But speaking of power and stuff, what about our little singing sphere friend?
What?
The singing... Oh.
Averick turns and walks away very quickly.
I made a special terrarium.
It's love.
Just as sort of a way to warm up the place for brewing bindings.
Is it like in view, like we can all see it? We know exactly.
It's on the side of the counter near the biscuits.
Oh,
Yeah,
at least I know what it is.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Oh yeah, that looks very nice, Nadi.
Thanks. I'm thinking about opening up business. We shall see.
I think you get a lot of business, honestly.
Yeah, I gotta talk to Bob about that, startup and everything like that. But it's, something to think about a little later once things have calmed down, perhaps.
Speaking of, how has the sphere been for the last week?
Yeah, because that's kind of.
It's been humming its usual tune. If anything, out of everyone, Tolan, because you're around it more, because it's been with you and Averick, the only thing you'll notice that is louder, but no one else seems to hear it. And you've noticed it's louder, and that mark in the sky is bigger.
Does it seem to change at all, like in shape or color or anything? It just looks like that same
bigger.
oil slick.
It's just that same sort of, almost like a perfect sphere apart from the big chunks taken out of it.
Hmm.
And then the sky is just oil spreading across water, basically.
That's kind of, you can see there's a darkness in it. You don't want to call it a hole in the sky because it's not quite that, but it's like a mark, a scar.
The sky schmear. That's about right.
Oh, yeah, hey.
Have we seen any of these shadow people around?
Not at all. Not all week. And
Tolan grumbles.
after a while, Tolan, you can hear Averick almost like clearing his throat, like every now and then, until you actually look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh, excuse me for a moment. More coffee. Tolan just blew by
Averick
to
is
lie
not
at
subtle.
all.
Averick is not subtle in any way whatsoever. And he leans over at the table, and you've sort of been staying Aggies all week with Averick, and she hasn't been her chatty self all week. She's just not being Aggie since then. And he turns his phone round and shows you a message and sort of pushes it across the table, puts behind like cups so no one else can see that she's pushing this phone across the table. And just very simple, it says, "I'd like a word when you get the chance," and then it just says, signed off, Aggie. Apparently you're not picking up your phone.
Oh, he starts patting himself down. Well,
It's on silent somehow.
Well, and probably dead because he probably didn't realize you had to plug it in as often as you do. So, well, it's gone dark. He shows it.
Yeah, you need to charge that.
Wait, what? It doesn't just pick up off of the magic in the air or something?
You
Well,
made
terrible.
things like this. Come
This is a
on.
terrible design. Well, the new ones do.
Well,
I should get a new one.
get a new one. Like, and he's like Averick, and the rest of you can see this like quiet bickering going on across the table, across like this bar, effectively. And he's like, you know, she doesn't worry for no reason.
I know. I'll make my excuses and head out. I'm taken care of. He walks over and goes, gosh, would you look at the time? Oh my gosh, Paula, are you late?
Oh my gosh. You guys, I am so sorry. I have to go. Thank you
Here,
so
I'll
much
show
for
you out.
Okay. Bye. Have a good day at work.
I grab the door because I assume you have all your bags and stuff.
Paula's like scooped, like she goes, like she takes her arms and goes like vroom, and like scoop through all the handles on her bags and is heading out the door.
Yeah, I've got
like the
door
bag
for you.
lady she is.
Let me at least, can I get you a gondola? Whatever. I follow her out, sort of making a big deal of that I'm helping Paula, not off to go talk to Aggie.
Yeah, you can help like Paula shuffle out the door, which I'm Paula at this. You probably have to go out sideways through this door. But you can hear a lot more of the busyness in the streets, and over by the academy you can see students starting to flow in through the doors as the academy is open. And Tolan, you can at that point either slip away or at least say your goodbyes to Paula.
I'll just sort of follow Paula because Aggie's is sort of towards the academy because we know that from when we helped out Noah. So I think sort of walk with her a little bit, and then when she heads to the academy, I'll just sort of break off and just haven't been home in nearly a week. I probably should at least check in on the shop. I'm concerned that the church or others might have decided to go rifle through my things. Let me know if you hear anything, and goodbye. Very awkwardly leaves Paula.
Yeah, Paula just kind of like, and when she's like, she's a woman on a mission, you know, she's like darting toward the school.
Yeah.
And Charlie and the D, you've been left. As Averick sort of looks at you awkwardly, like with a smile, almost realizing it's probably his fault. Everyone has suddenly darted away.
That was weird.
T.
Real subtle, Averick.
Yeah, you're not very good at, the subterfuge stuff there, buddy.
I mean, and he just sort of looks over like and shrugs and goes back to his coffee pot.
Well, alright, so something's up with Tolan, something's up with Paula, something's up with Tuva. Everybody's got something going on.
I mean, now that I think about it, I have to go back to the shop. Well, drop off my groceries. I was thinking maybe you could talk with Armand about maybe having a shelf for your...
Oh, that could be kind of cool to have happen. Yeah, like, little starter shelf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a new feature. Make a nice
I
sign
like
for
that
it.
idea. Will he be okay with her coming along? And Nutty's gonna pick up her book bag, and there's her little orange kitten that's basically in this cat backpack with Primo curled up together. I mean, I know, some people have an pets policy, so...
He's a sucker for cuties like that.
Okay, cool. Then I bring Regina along with us.
Alright. Gather up my things.
Here, I can take a couple of things. I got the backpack, but I have free hands.
Alright.
Yay!
Yeah.
Give me a couple and we get you.
Paper bag for you, and I've got some other like canvas bags.
Okay, cool. Averick, we see you later.
And he's like, yep. And you can hear like a mumble because he's got one of the biscuits in his mouth as he's trying to sort of clear up some of the bits. As he's only got that one customer still at the back so far. And
So I returned the paper.
wide open. Yeah, the man's like, thank you. As this like ruckus of this group just leave. And the both of you can head up down the street towards Almonds. And Tolan, you can make your way towards Aggie's. you can make your way towards her home bookshop mixture. You're not too sure if they just blend into one now, this little place. And you can see, if you head straight there, pressed up against the window, Jeremy and Jemima, as they always are, as they see you coming round the corner.
Looks down at them. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You see them sort of twitch their head to one side.
3 steps backward, both of you.
They take 3 steps forward.
Oh, we gotta do the dance all day today. Come on, I need to see Aggie. And I can't have you running in the street because I'm too old to chase you around.
And you can see them sort of take a step back and sit down more than anything, and sit and watch you go to the door and not actually like from the window. And they sort of press themselves to one side when you're like really pressing against a window to look around a corner.
If you stay inside, I'll sneak you a sardine later.
They sit very still.
Use my key to open the door.
Yeah, you can.
I still dart through pretty quickly just in case they get a little squirrely.
Yeah, you can see them as you go in and you look around the corner to where the window is. They're sort of craning themselves over to the side to have a look at you come in. As you quickly close that door shut. And as you close it, this is an old door, it sort of thuds, and you hear the sort of clang of the bell from the grandfather clock, just as it rocks where it is. And you hear a hello, and she sort of like walks around and pokes her head around, like, oh,
it's me.
Tea, and sort of like starts shuffling into the kitchen.
Oh my gosh, between you and Averick, I'm going to pop. And he goes down the hallway to the restroom.
Yeah, and the cats start thundering around after you now that the door's closed, but they sort of not chase you, but they're not leaving you alone. And you can hear that clanking around as Aggie is moving stuff about in the kitchen. And the thing you have noticed over this last week is that Aggie's been rearranging things. The coffee's not where it's normally kept. The biscuit tins moved. The umbrella stand has shifted. Almost like she's just feeling like she needs to keep herself busy.
I'm sure Tolan would have noticed some of this. I also think Tolan over the last week has, he's not certainly on, I just lost name. David? No. Her husband. Tom, sorry. Certainly not, sorry. Someone's husband. Certainly not on Tom's same rack or places, but he hangs up his coat and puts actually Tom's hat that she gave him. So he sort of takes it off. He's in his normal sort of rough old corduroys and dark leather laced up boots and sort of a white button down shirt that is in need of a press, but he's still wearing it probably, and sort of heads into the kitchen, looking around everything. So you can tell me what's going on. I've watched you rearrange this house from top to bottom over the course of the last week.
And she looks at you and doesn't actually say anything, but walks over to that table that's too high for her and puts the tea on the side and sort of hops up onto the stool.
Yeah, he's at this point fairly well trained to already get her cushion that she likes to sit on.
He's like, I heard the Deacon Marks was the one who got stabbed at the season tree.
Paula confirmed that just an hour or so ago over at Bruin Binding. She and Matthias apparently rescued him and kept him safe, saved his life.
She nods slowly and sips her tea and pauses for just a little bit. You know this is your home as much as mine.
Well, I appreciate that very much. You've given me sanctuary here more times than I can count over the last 8 years, but this is yours and Tom's home.
It is. If I go away for a little bit, would you look after it?
He looks at her long and hard.
She just raises an eyebrow.
Of course I would, but I would need to know. I'm not going to let you just run off somewhere, Aggie.
I'm not intending to run anywhere.
Walk off.
I'm not
Search off, scamper or skip. I'm not going to let you just go off alone somewhere, Aggie. He's getting a little bit upset.
Yeah. And she sort of looks at you, and it's almost like a very soft smile on her face. I don't plan on leaving my house. What I'm saying is, I may be forced to. And I need someone to feed my cats.
Aggie. He looks at her. I say this without hyperbole. If someone tries to remove you from your house without your consent, I will tear this city apart to make sure that doesn't happen.
I don't think they'll forcibly remove me. Is that what you're worrying about? What I'm saying is, and she just shakes her head a little bit. I have been requested to go and speak to the seers. Is what I'm saying. And I don't know what's going to come of that. I'll be honest. And I want someone to feed my cats.
What is it that you might tell them that would prevent you from returning? Or is it too dangerous for me to know?
If I'm honest, I don't know.
You're talking in riddles, Aggie.
I don't know what information I'm not supposed to know, but I know a lot of things. Last time someone went there, I know they didn't come back. A long time ago. So I'm just taking precautions. I'll probably be fine. I know what to expect, Holland. I've done it before. But there is no reason for them to call me in now, which is why... And you can see her hand is shaking a little bit by the tea, like on the teacup. It's why I'm concerned.
I know Paula mentioned your name, that you had said you were being followed by the shadows, and we might have somehow looped you in by bringing Noah here.
And she smiles just a little bit. They don't want to talk about Noah or Paula or Averick. They want to talk about Tom.
We've never spoken about him before. I've never asked, just as you never asked me what happened that day.
You never asked. That's exactly that.
Well, If you're this worried, and he holds her hand to steady it, I'll ask now. What can you tell me about Tom and how he went away, or what he did before he left?
And she pauses for a while, and you can see like herself physically like rise and fall with a big breath, and you think she's probably not spoken about Tom ever, really, to anyone. He was a good man. And she glances over at the hat on the stand. A very good man. Clever. And he liked to read. He liked to... And then she smiles a little bit, almost as if she's looking away and remembering something. We used to travel a lot, you know. We went up to Valadris, through Valadris to Iron Wyn. I remember standing on the cliffs along the ice coast with him. There's amazing things up there. Things that he would read about and write about. The view of the sleeping giants. The huge sort of rock foundations that were shaped like their names. People had so many stories about them. Everything all over, and he loved the stories. So we'd go find them. And he'd write about them. He would tell me everything. Absolutely everything. And then there was one thing he refused to tell me about. He wouldn't tell me. And she pauses again for a while. And if he didn't tell me, I knew there would be a good reason. He disappeared. We came home to Kanan. He went out one evening to help a friend, and she takes a deep breath. Didn't come back. I looked for a while. I still can't find him. I was interrogated by the seers. Where had he gone? This man who told stories and had information. But nothing. Because I didn't know anything. Because he didn't want me to know anything. I don't know what it is they're looking for, but they think it's here.
Do you think you have knowledge now that you didn't have before, or that they have knowledge that they didn't have before and can connect dots?
I think they think I've got knowledge I didn't have before. That, or they've thought of something else. And she sort of looks around at this kitchen you're sort of cramped into. These aren't my books, Tolan. They're my husband's. It's why I look after them. I don't read, really. I was much more of a doer than a sitter and a reader.
Stories can be a powerful thing. Sometimes there's more truth to them than most people know.
That's why I haven't read them.
Many times when I would go out as a seeker for artifacts, all I would have was a story or a legend or a fable to follow. If they perhaps now have context, his stories that you know might be a trail of breadcrumbs that they're looking for.
And she looks around at the books once more. We were a team, the both of us. He was very good at his stories, writing them down, reading about them. As I said, it's why I don't read these in case I accidentally let some information slip he didn't want slipped. I've not read a single one of these books since he disappeared. I know what I'm doing, Tolan, it's okay. I'm not just a fluffy little old lady.
You've never just been a fluffy little old lady.
No, I know.
You like to pretend to be.
I do. People don't trouble fluffy little old ladies.
They don't trouble a grumpy old man, even if they do think that he destroyed part of the city. Not
Little
anymore.
old ladies do, though.
Well, like I said, you're not a little old lady, but it intrigues me. A story taken form recently fell into my possession from Valadris. A sphere. Upon it, etched what I believe one of the older stories around. The storytellers, Matthias himself tells the story out by the season tree. It's told to children about a fantastic beast racing after a man.
Stories come from truth, same as those of the sleeping giants by the ice cliffs. Everything comes from somewhere, whether it still exists or whether it did exist. It's all down to interpretation.
When she says that, he looks closely at her and takes both of her hands. Truth is also up to interpretation. The seers see the truth they want to see, not necessarily what is actual fact.
She pauses. It's down to interpretation and it's down to manipulation. Manipulate a story. If you believe it's true, they believe it's true.
Yes.
Tom's very good at that. You can send someone in the wrong direction if you believe hard enough.
And give them a target big enough and bright enough that they can't see past it.
A beacon.
A beacon, in fact. Aggie, I don't want you to become that target or that beacon.
My past makes me that beacon. Not you. Not any of these. The events in the last week or so.
if they take you, or go, if you go, at least let me know when. So I know to feed the cats, and also so I know how long you've been gone, because as I said before, if you don't return, I'll have a message to send myself to the seers.
If I don't return, or if you see anyone other in the house other than you or Averick, or Charlie, or Paula, or Nadine, there is a box in my room under the 3rd floorboard to the far right. If I'm not back, you take it.
Okay. Let's hope that box stays right where it is.
And she quickly smiles. Let's hope.
So the person you were referring to who disappeared after seeing the seers, was it Edric Amal?
No. It was Tom.
Understood.
And she sort of shuffles off the chair, scoops up the mugs and takes them over to the sink. I also want you to know I'm more capable than you think I am. And she starts to run the taps and clank the dishes in the sink. More capable than my husband, in fact.
Yet you don't have an Inakwe.
No, you don't need an Inakwe to be competent.
Trying to learn that.
She turns back, saying, you better start believing it, otherwise you are going to get into trouble.
Well, I never would have thought that it was the case, but it seems as though I've actually fallen in with a group of troublemakers myself.
And she smiles. I know what that feels like.
Your friend Charlie. You knew, didn't you?
And she smiles. Says nothing else. You think we're the first set of troublemakers I've had to deal with?
Well, let's make sure that we're not the last.
And again, she starts to wash up.
Let me do that for you. This just once.
She does move aside and allows you. And she takes like a dishcloth and starts to dry everyone that you pass to her. And looks to you. You know you could still do what you used to do.
Seeking.
Yes. Why not?
It's a long story for another day. Let's stick to the current. Hurdle.
Well, I tell you what, you wash those dishes. But, you know, you don't need to have magic to be a seeker.
Oh, there's quite a few who don't. My problem was, or is the fact that I always did.
And she leans in and puts like her hand on your shoulder, almost as if she's whispering, even though you're in the house on your own. If I could do it without it, then so could you.
He drops whatever he was washing.
I'm not a bookworm, that was my husband. There's a reason we kept our stories separate. Now I'm going to make some dinner. Do you want some? Are you staying? Is Everett going to be back or not?
He just sort of opens his mouth and closes it, still not quite processing. He kind of looks like a codfish up on the bank of a river.
I'm going to take that as a yes. And you see her go into sort of shuffle over towards the back door, open the garden, and head over to her veggie patch. And we're going to hop over to Paula. And Paula, you are rushing towards the academy, and you see all these children sort of piling in. You are late. You are pretty late, but you also know that the library tends to open itself when you're not there, even if there's people turning up. It does it on its own. And as you walk towards it, sort of waiting by the door, even though it's open and you can see children going in and all these students filing in, you don't see Noah, but you can assume he's probably around somewhere, probably late himself, and stood sort of looking into the library, but not quite stepping in, is a young man, a familiar face. A heavy knit jumper hides his very colourful swirling braces. The same flop of wild hair, which is now a mousy brown after dyeing it to try and blend in a bit. Sort of his hands sit in his pockets, where you see a soft blue glow sort of whip up around his arm as Sophia crawls up the side of it, onto his shoulder and under that knitted jumper. And he just seems to be waiting.
Is that you?
And you sort of see Matthias turn around very quickly. It's just like, oh, okay, yes. What do you think? Does this blend me in a bit more? Or what?
No, it looks great. I love it.
Oh, really? And he's sort of like pulling it down to have a look a little bit. And he's like, I mean, it's pretty average.
Oh, I agree. Very average. But that's not a bad thing necessarily. I mean, the blue was awesome too. I like, both ways work.
Well, I
although
you tone it down a bit while everything's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely looked more confident with the blue. So I'm going to say that definitely suited you better. But this doesn't look bad, and you should know that too.
Okay, and he just sort of keeps like pushing it aside, not knowing, almost like he's just fiddling with it because he doesn't know what to do. And you can see that tiny little bit of braces like peek out the side, but he's got a very beige jumper on, which looks home knitted, sort of almost half tucked into these trousers he's got on. He's like, no, I thought I'd go with the whole blending thing after everything that happened. But it's all good. It's fine.
Did you make that sweater?
No, my mom did.
Oh, really? Is she in town or did?
No, this is one she made for me last Christmas. But I think she'd be upset if I didn't wear it.
Definitely.
It's hideous, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
You're being very hard on yourself right now, and you don't have to be. You look very handsome.
And he sort of flushes a little bit. He's like, I was just waiting to see if you were in. That was all. Just checking you okay. I haven't really seen you in a week. I know you wanted to hear about my brother, and he's doing fine. The church have taken him in, and he's all good. I mean, they won't go in and see him, and Mom's pretty angry about that, and will probably be storming the castle, as she called it, if they don't let her see him in the wrong.
I mean, I've recently heard a lot of different takes on the church. I don't know whether it was such a good idea for me to send you in so soon after that incident. How did that go? Are you okay?
I'm fine. I don't know if no, I think I'm fine. They didn't ask me anything too precarious. They said they fully believed me, and they'd be making a statement about it in future, to make sure my name's clear.
Hold on a second. Can we walk and talk? Because I'm actually already super late and I'm going to get in big trouble if we don't get to the lab. Yeah.
We can do that.
So they didn't ask you anything too serious then?
No, they said they were pleased I showed concern for the archdeacon, even though he's my brother. I don't really know. They're weird people in there.
And do you know who took him? Like you said the church took the archdeacon, but do you know who in particular?
No, just some church officials and watchers took him in, to keep him under their watch and see how he was doing, and I guess question him as well.
Did they let him keep his phone?
I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there when they did it. Mom was.
You haven't even tried to call him?
It just goes straight to members of the church saying he's resting. That's why Mom's saying she's going to storm the castle if they don't let her talk to her son soon.
Yeah, I don't blame her, honestly. They're very creepy. And I don't know if I trust them as much as I did when I told you to go.
It's okay. You thought you were doing the right thing, and I'm all good. Look, I'm fine. I'm all here.
You are. And Paula will give him a hug.
And he's like, "Oh," and he sort of goes rigid mildly, and you can feel a hand pat you on the back, like he doesn't know what to do, but it is a pat. It's like a friend is like, "Well, I'm glad you're feeling good about it. I think."
I don't know if the good's the word, but I'm feeling relieved.
Well, I actually came here to say thank you, but because you helped a lot. I almost. If you weren't there, I might have done something very stupid. So. No,
you and your brother are. Both of you, are very. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. So.
Oh no, I don't want anything bad to happen to you either. Like in a mutual way.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So are you?
Good.
You're coming with. Are you going to the library today?
I was going to read some books. I'm kind of out of the story thing, and with every, it's autumn's on its way, which means more festivals and more festivities, another thing that happens. So I need to get my practice up, and Jin said I might be able to have a spot one of the evenings to tell stories.
No way, that would be awesome.
I know, right? If it fits to everyone's taste.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be happy to help you find whatever books you're looking for. I've been really I've been busy recently, I've been trying to focus on work. So I'm sure boss wouldn't mind if I spent a day, working on personal projects.
No, that sounds good. I know, like, how is everything in general? I know you said last time we spoke you weren't. And he sort of lowers his voice as you get close to your desk. He's like, "Did you get a chance to talk to your mom?"
No, not yet. It's on the list. It's on the list, like literally. And I show him the list, and it's on there. Today's the day, actually.
Today's you should, not that I'm telling you what to do, but you should. It's moms are important. Some
Yeah.
can be terrifying, and he sort of like you can see him thinking about maybe something that's happened, but no, it's good.
Yeah,
Are you-
no.
Are you gonna
I-
do it at lunchtime or?
Yeah, I think so. I think lunch would be a good time. If I wait until tonight, I'm gonna overthink it and I'm gonna stress myself out over it. And I think we just need to sit down and have a talk and be adults, like we are, grown up to grown up.
Yes, grown up to grown up. That's it. Like, and he's like, it's like he's feeling incredibly awkward, but just repeating whatever you say because he doesn't know how to support it. He's like, well, why don't you you do that at lunch and maybe you want to get a coffee after work or something?
Yeah, I think I'll definitely need to decompress after.
We can do that.
Yeah,
I'm
coffee
thinking
works is
that,
perfect
but-
for
Like chatting, I can do that.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to chat. We could just be together in the same room. I really enjoy sitting in the same room as other people while we're both doing different tasks but not really talking.
And that could work. And he sort of runs his hands through this now very almost mousy blonde brown hair, which you can see at the roots is still bright blue when he moves his hair back. It's like, it could be all good. Maybe I'm gonna go read some books now because I need to get some stuff sorted and worked out. But
Yeah, if you need help finding anything, I mean, you know where to find me.
yes, no, I know, it's all good. And you can see he's fussing, and you can see Sophia sort of drift through the air behind him as he always makes a dash to the bookcases, not to get away, but you sense a nervousness in it.
Yeah, and Paula will drop off all her bags by her office, and get to work. Climb the ladder and start stacking books.
And you can start going about your work day. You do receive a text message from your mum that is actually asking the same thing about whether you can meet up and chat because it's been too long since everything that's been happening.
I respond and say, I was gonna ask you the same thing. Meet me at home for lunch.
You just get a short message that says, okay, I look forward to it. And I'm going to take a really quick bio and I'll be back in a second.
Aggie was a seeker.
Aggie was a seeker.
Holy crap! Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. She was such a badass. She was such a badass.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the thing is that so Aggie would have been like the generation before Edric.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, so what if you have sort of Aggie and Tom influenced Edric, who then influenced Tolan, right? Yeah, because Alice, we all know Alice has done something crazy.
They're connected somehow.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely. Hey, Kyle. I see Kyle's just come in, and everybody out there. I mean, it's weird. It's like all these people who it's like I was like hugging a week ago at Gen Con. Now seeing in the chat. I can't wait. I can't wait for PAX 2.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
so bizarre.
actually, do you want to take a second, V? Talk about what you're doing up at Keystone?
Oh God, yes. Hi. If you're in the Philadelphia area, I'm going to be at Keystone Comic-Con. I'm actually doing 3 panels, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the Nerd guys and Devils Up Gaming and Unmade Gaming and a few other great people. And I'm like, you caught me off guard here. And we're basically talking about streaming, getting into streaming, playing games and stuff like that. So come and check it out. It's looking like a pretty cool convention. It's also at the same convention center as PAX U is at. So very cool stuff. Yay, I'm excited for it. So that's the 23rd to the 25th.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually participating in a charity stream that's happening all Labor Day weekend long over on Once Upon a Story. Yes, Once Upon a Story, which is raising money for Races to Texas for immigration and with all the things that are going on with immigration down there. And I will be in the last game at 4:00 on Sunday. And come check it out. We're going to try to raise lots of money over the course of the entire Labor Day weekend. It's going to be a streamathon.
Yay.
We were doing announcements and saying that we love that Aggie was a seeker.
Yeah.
So timeline wise, we're thinking, so Aggie would have been, Aggie is a generation before Edric, correct? Because of her age. So it'd be Edric, it'd be Aggie and Tom, then Edric, then sort of Tolan, and then like Ivan, who's out there now. Or Ivan, because Ivan's younger than Tolan,
yeah, by about 6-7 years.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
And we're going to hop over to Charlie and Dee. And you're all heading back over to Armand's place. And you can see Armand has opened up the shop. And there are people walking backwards and forwards, coming in and out. You can see that same old man again, that is the one that pulls the plants off of the shelf and loves every single thing about them. And you notice the same plants every single time. And you can see him, and you can see the very exhausted look on Armand's face as this snake is resting its head on the top of the counter. And what are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna just kind of weave my way through stuff and I'm just like the most what's the word? Conciliatory. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Anyway, I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, you can see him sort of almost like stare longingly after you, wishing it wasn't him, as you move past. But you can see all of these flowers hanging down from the ceiling, and as the cooler weather has come in, you can see them flowering into these sort of almost like trumpet-shaped purple flowers with the yellow inside, where the insides glow that tiny bit. And then you realize he hasn't actually turned any of the lights on in this shop. It's all coming from the vines above, as it is a little bit darker in the afternoon now. The skies are a little bit grayer. And he looks at you and looks at the old man across the thing. He's like, I will just be right back. You keep, no, that one over there. You just keep looking over. And he sort of, that's it. And Sam shuffles along the table towards this older man, almost like he's keeping an eye on him, as Armand sort of steps over Sam. And he's like, okay, okay. What's happening? Hi. And holds out a hand to Nadine and is like, Armand.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Nadie.
What are you after? Can I get you anything?
I was dropping off groceries.
Yeah, I'm helping carry some of her stuff with the groceries. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Perfect.
I do have friends.
I know you have friends. And he sort of looks at him like, I'm sorry. As he moves over and he's like, that kid was here for you again today, just so you know.
Yeah, I saw her out and about.
She found
something about showing you something. I don't know. But,
I don't know what it is, but she was fine.
And he sort of not rolls his eyes, but it's like, oh. And he's like, so I don't need you in on shift today, but I mean, if you want to talk to one old guy that won't leave me alone, that's also fine.
What's the matter with the old man?
He likes to know things, but he asks the same questions every day. I think we need to get him into weaving or something. Teach him to make flower crowns.
Something. Just get him to
so
do something.
it's just basically a lonely little man who just wants company.
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
Have you ever like written down his questions with answers to them?
No, because he'll still
What a
ask
fact.
them. He will still come and ask them. I don't
Cool.
mind really, but when I'm having a busy day, it's not the most welcome interaction.
I'm a parrot. Copy you.
Like, do you think? Like, and he looks over and says, "Do you think Sam would be okay with that?" And you see, because Sam is like reaching his head out and looking over, and you've seen Sam interact with birds, and you know it's not good.
Yeah, it's kind of more giving a treat to Sam than helping out with the.
Might last a day or two.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
at least he tried.
Yeah.
Look, I can't leave it that much longer. I'm gonna go and and Armand sort of shuffles off. He's like, "Just sort yourselves out," and moves over.
I'm gonna shuffle up the stairs, and I think it's my Nadine's like first look at these fancy locks.
Well, she went all out for you, didn't she?
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
I don't even want to know where she got those, because chances are,
I haven't asked.
yeah, best not to. She's resourceful.
Yeah, that's the way to put it. She likes to stay busy.
Yeah, probably. Could you imagine if she didn't keep herself busy, what she'd be getting up to?
I mean, the keeping busy is kind of the.
Yeah, but
She's already doing it.
yeah, but at least she's skilled as opposed to just kind of going out there and trying new things every single day.
Right.
Yeah,
There is that.
yeah, because
So you like shoulder over the door, and the terrarium that Eddie gave Charlie is up on. It kind of moves around. Like sometimes it's on the windowsill, and sometimes it's on a shelf. And right now it's more like on a shelf, kind of towards a cozy-looking chair by the window. And there's not much in here, but it is comfy. There's like fairy lights, like a tiny string of fairy lights that may or may not actually just be plants. In a similar way to downstairs, and there's the one window that actually opens, and they've all got those like kind of frosted looking, but just from age. So you can kind of see through it if you stand real close. And you can see maybe like across the street. That's about it. But yeah, she's just like, have yourself at home. Sit anywhere if there's not much. Move some like laundry or something. But
don't worry about it. It's totally fine.
yeah, I'll just put stuff away.
Okay, you want some help?
Sure.
I'm gonna put it and I'll pop it away for you.
It's not a whole lot. I mean, this is. She just like points out kind of where cereal goes and where XYZ things goes, and it's honestly kind of clever how things have been stored vertically, being that it is a very small space, and there is like a more kind of kitchen-y shared like fridge that one share, but yeah, it's neat. There's lots of little cupboards and drawers and things. And everything seems to have its little place. Yeah. So, everything was fine in your greenhouse, right?
Oh yeah, I mean outside Regina being in there.
Yeah, which is a great surprise.
Oh my god.
How did she
yeah.
get in?
What is that?
How did she get in?
I think she kind of made her way through like a window or something. I mean, basically, it was just, cute little orange fluff ball, and one of the got the putts, and,
I had to keep her. I mean, she'll take off her backpack and turn it around and like, she and Pram are kind of like just peering out and there's like, you can tell it's ventilated. It's not like they're sealed in, but they're kind of like looking and just taking it all in. I mean, look at the little face on this one. She's just,
I just put like a little finger up, kind of like how I do with Jeremy and Jemima on the window.
Like Prema will do it, and then the kitten will probably do it too.
I
don't know.
Get anything done and not just play with them all day.
Well, I mean, we can do that since you don't have to work. Although you do see Tava. So there's that.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's plotting.
Her plotting?
Ever? Never. Just text me and tell me what she got up to, because I have a feeling if she saw me there, you're not gonna see what she had planned.
Maybe.
I mean, you saw the way she purposely didn't tell me anything. So you know she's got something going.
I mean, you kind of cracked down with the rules there when you made a lawful first impression.
Well, she had information. We needed it.
Fair.
Good cop, bad cop, or not so stern cop, super stern cop. Something like that. It's okay. She's cute. She makes me laugh.
Yeah.
But her poor mother, though.
I mean, now she's hanging out with me more often.
It's probably a big help.
Her mom doesn't seem to mind so much. I think it's more like, oh, she has friends. Yay.
Yeah. I think Papa's a little happy that I was actually using the word friends around him too, though I think he kind of wants to know more about them. So we'll give him the abridged version. At least for now. Because, thought it was interesting. Tolan's like, don't tell him about me. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's a big deal for some people.
I don't even know if Papa was around for it, considering the way he was always traveling, but I guess he'd get wind of it anyways, because it carried on for so long. Would be curious to find out, though.
Just ask it directly.
Well, just say, hey, Papa, I heard someone talking about, the Blakebringer. Got any information on that? What's the 411? Oh, probably know I was lying if I did it like that.
Leave him a note. He'll never know.
He'll never know. Oh, dear Papa. No. Good bunny, though. But, yeah, no, I don't know. I just, she made her way in. We decided to keep her. And now, little fun companion. But do you think our mom
seems to like her?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. They get along famously. It's actually quite nice. He doesn't bug the other pets he sees now. Well, no, he'd walk right up to him and be like, hey, kitty, kitty, kitty. And then the first was doggy, doggy, doggy sometimes, because he doesn't, make sure to put up hand first, introduce self. He's more like the animal. But hey, this works. But you think our mom really would entertain the idea of the terrariums?
See, why not? He's always changing things up downstairs.
Maybe I can make one of these, especially for that little old man that would kind of just keep him busy.
Maybe.
Or maybe like something that sort of like changes every day, so to speak, so we can go and check it and see if there's anything new.
He might bring it and ask about it.
Oh, then let's not do that, because that would just work.
See, today it's red.
Oh,
what does it mean?
Oh, that's be a bad idea then. All right, so we'll see. But yeah, I think that could be kind of cool to talk to him about that. And Lord knows I have enough plans at home to kind of just keep going.
Yeah.
Just a quick thank you to Mirrors for that donation, so that everyone can have an auto success. Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome.
How long do you think your dad's gonna be in town?
I don't know. This is kind of weird because normally he's home for a little bit, little spaces at time, but this kind of had more of the
definite type of feel to it, because he wasn't like, well, I'll be home for like 2 weeks and then I'll be gone again for like another 2 months. This was just like, I'm staying home. So, but I mean, I know I got worried that night anyways, because it wasn't the best of nights for me. So I think he's just not so much making sure Town's okay, but making sure I'm okay.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm doing better. It's probably a better way of phrasing it, yes. It just, I don't know, the whole thing about the magic stuff, and you know how it is. Like, you just get this feeling, it's just like you don't belong. You're just not allowed to belong because of what you just have. It's not like it's in your control. So, I don't know. I've just been enjoying my freedom and getting out and meeting people and doing things, and I think I just got scared of that all going away again.
Yeah?
But, well, not originally from here. For obvious reasons, I mean. And she'll like point to like as she's speaking her mouth. So when we moved here, it's sort of like starting fresh. And I was worried that Papa was gonna want to do the same thing all over again. And here I've this is home now for me, and this is where people I like are, and I have my greenhouse, and I have brewing bindings, and I have, the library and visiting Paul and the studio and the cabaret. Oh, I gotta tell about the cabaret still. But anyways, it's, I didn't want that to, I don't want to see that end. I don't want to see that stop, and I want to keep exploring and doing, and I thought he was going to pick up and take us away. But it seems like he wants to stay, so I'm not as much worried about that anymore.
I've thought about picking up and starting new somewhere, but it's a lot.
Yeah, it does. It's a big change, but I mean, I'm not saying I want to live with my papa my whole life. But, don't get me wrong, it's a nice little place, but it could be nice to have, like what you have, place of your own here, like your own little apartment where you can come and go as you please and, decorate as you see fit type of situation. But what about you? You felt up okay after this week? And
Wow, all these
Yeah.
parties for me. Thank you, you guys.
My brother's doing okay.
what about running into that person you mentioned?
I didn't really know what to expect. I think maybe that's more what I was afraid of than anything else, but we really needed to talk. And we did.
Well, as long as you're happy with how the conversation went, or at least had some closure.
Yeah, I think it's better. I mean, part of me is always gonna think I'm worrying for nothing, and then the other part of me is just gonna worry anyway. But I think that's just how I'm wired.
I can respect that very greatly. Well, I'm glad you got to have that conversation then. Especially if it's helping you kind of move forward a little bit for yourself.
I wish I'd done it sooner.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the hindsight factor. You can always beat yourself over it, but the only thing you're doing is just making your future, past, present lousy in the you know what I mean. Like, you beat yourself up now, you're wasting your future, and then the past is just going to be you regretting that as well. And that's just, it adds up on itself. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you had the conversation, and hopefully. I mean, did you want him out of your life, or do you think he'll come back in, or?
If he does, it's gonna be on my terms. Instead of his.
That's actually a really good way to handle it.
I know where he is. And we could probably be helpful, but I mean, I went to him for a reason.
That reason gonna have to do with what goes on there with you?
Yeah, but I mean, I needed a different kind of teacher, and he happened to be that teacher.
Yeah, I can understand that one. I still need to find a teacher for myself. I mean, self-taught, not too shabby.
I'd say you're doing really well.
Yeah, but Tolan seems to think a little bit more guidance might be helpful, so... I mean, give him benefit of the doubt. Not completely shut him down and be like, nope, I'm fine, because quite frankly, finding out about these seers and the fact they can kind of get in here and not have, little friends helping them, I didn't know it was possible. So, yeah, it might be time to really kind of... Well, you have them. You said you have your defenses and everything going. I can't walk with earbuds in my ears all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much I could...
Oh, no, I wasn't expecting
Sure.
that. That's asking too much from you.
If it helps, I'd be happy to try. But
I but probably it'd be best to find someone with expertise, just to be sure. Because I mean, we each have our magic, but I don't know if they're the same kind of magic. So if there's something I do that's different, because yours seems more zappy, mine's more wishy-washy. Well, not wishy-washy, but definitely. I tend to like to use the water more.
Yeah. Is it stronger when you're near the water?
Yeah, probably is a safe assumption, because considering what happened with those shadow figures, and I didn't expect to try out the street, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That was kind of a first on that rainy day, but it just happened. So, although think about it, if we put our two powers together, that could be really cool looking.
Yeah.
I guess I'll talk to Tolan about it and see if he knows of someone he could recommend, because I know he does not want to jump back into... He was very adamant about that. Nope, not going to be me. Okay, Mr. Tolan, sir, you got it. Message received, loud and clear.
He's a way of making things real final.
He's very good at that. Like, nope. End of story, out the door he goes.
Useful skill. But, I mean, the academy is good. It wasn't good for me, but it's good for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know. Something tells me, the academy is good, but I don't know if it's my type of schooling.
You have a say in it.
This is true. Well, I'll get it figured out. Right now, we should, I don't know. Wanna go grab lunch or something? Maybe go to the noodle bar and see how Jin's doing.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, let's do that. That sounds like, something a bit more enjoyable than dwelling on stuff we can't exactly control, like right now.
Okay. And you can set off towards the noodle bar and head through the streets. And again, it's not as busy as normal, but it's still pretty much day to day. You do, however, see a lot more watchers than normal. And we're going to hop back to Paula. And Paula, you can head home. And as you do, as you walk through the door, you see your mum sat at the dining room table, just waiting for you. You can see that she's got a glass of water in front of her, but it doesn't look touched. More that it's just there. And she jumps up as you walk in and sort of offers you a fairly weak smile, but almost not jumping to any conclusions, not trying to say anything before you walk in.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, sweetie. Do you want to sit down?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And Paula will brush aside some of the takeout boxes that are covering the table, probably knocking some onto Felonious.
Very yellow.
And Paula will sit upright in her chair and like clasp her hands and rest them on the table. So I know it's been a minute since we talked, but I had some things that I needed to process. And I think I'm ready to have more of a discussion. But before we do, I want to make it very clear why I was so hurt the last time we really talked. Because I don't think you understood in the heat of the moment. In that moment, I did not care about my father or his past because I don't have a relationship with him and I never did. But you matter to me because you're here. And so when I found out that you had betrayed my trust by keeping secrets from me my entire life, I was upset not about him and his existence, but I was upset with you and your lack of trust in me. When throughout the years, and you know, I've had to place so much trust in you with my own struggles.
Looks like we got a new friend.
And it just feels, it made this feel very much like a one-sided relationship. Now, thank you, Raiders.
Hello, Raiders. Your mum sort of pauses and she just lets you talk at her. And you can see a very sad, sort of agreeing smile on her face. Not even a smile, just a very neutral. It doesn't look sad. But she lets you talk.
Now, after what happened about a week ago with the announcement, that was very scary for me. And it made me think of, with the trams and then that and the shadows and being followed. It just feels like we live in a very unstable time. And so I don't want to leave our relationship on a bad note. And I think it's important for us to work through our problems. But as we do this, I don't want you to treat me like a child because I'm grown and I don't want you to try to hide secrets from me or try to protect me from the truth. I can handle it, Mom.
And she reaches across the table and takes both your hands. I know. And I'm so sorry. I think I got in the habit from you having from a young age of hiding it. And just no good time came up to say it. And that's wrong. The longer I left it, the worse it got. And then when I heard that you were at the church, it just But I should have told you. I should have told you before, and I should have trusted you. I did trust you. I was just worried. And I didn't know what to do. I just didn't. I'm sorry. Anything you want to know, you may ask. If you don't want to know anything, I'll say nothing.
Well, first of all, I accept your apology. And Paula will stand up from her chair and go walk around the table to hug her mom.
Yeah, she hugs you very, very tightly. You can feel her resting, like she doesn't get off her stool, but she just hugs you back very tightly, resting her chin almost on your shoulder, rubbing your back. Just, I'm so sorry.
It's okay, Mom. But now that we're here and we're having this conversation, I would like to know, you know, if this is something that could potentially put me or the people I'm around in danger, or if there are certain people I should be aware of or cautious around, I need to know. Who was my father?
As I said before, he was a very good man, a very clever man. His name was Edric, and he was wonderful. And as I said, clever, perhaps too clever. Maybe that's why he got in trouble. I'm not too sure what everything is, because again, he wouldn't let me know or tell me. I was to keep you away from it and to keep you safe, and he would deal with it, and he disappeared. And all I know is that the church were very heavily involved, especially after I left as a watcher. We didn't agree with what things were happening there, and he certainly didn't. But he was good. He was so good. And you can see that her eyes are welling up just a little bit. Maybe this is the first time she's ever spoken about him. And she looks to you, says, if you want those things of his, I will give them to you. If you don't, that's fine. You can know as little or as much about him as possible. As much as you want.
I'd like to know more.
Oh. And she goes back into her room and brings out that same box again, the same as she did before, and sets it down. He was a seeker. In fact, he was the best at what he did. He designed the trams. He designed so many things. His favorite thing was to travel and explore and see. He took me with him on 2 or 3 of these adventures, as he called it, even though we weren't allowed to go to the dangerous places, apparently. And you can see her smile a little bit. It was the best time of my life when I gave up being a watcher. And I decided to see what my partner, Edric, your father, the Seeker, did. And share in his life, his friends, and his adventures. and this. And she opens, and there's more of a smile on her face now rather than just sad. She opens the box and hands you the necklace with the small kestrel, almost like that metalwork, almost a mechanical metalwork with a green glow sort of swirling within it, and the compass that she then takes out the box and places it on the table. I have kept so many of his things away so that no one could lead it back to us. But he used to say how he would take you with him when you were big enough to all these places, see these different things. He only took me to a few places, but I've seen so many things. One of my favorites, and she sort of sits back and relaxes, was the Star Caverns. You have to go and see the Star Caverns.
Oh, I want to travel so bad.
And she sort of smiles like, I think there's a reason you've wanted to travel. Because I don't most of the time. I'm very much happy at home. I'd only go if he wanted to go. And she then sort of takes out what look like papers, but they're photographs. And there is a picture of you that looks to be maybe when you're 3 years old, something like that. And you are down by the water, down on the Gold Coast beach. And Edric seems to be sort of swinging you up in the air as you sort of go up over a wave. And these are photos after photos of either your mother and your father doing things together.
I feel like I kind of remember that one.
And she sort of smiles and passes it over to you, and then laughs as she pulls out another, where she actually is stood very upright, very serious in her Watcher uniform. And he has an arm round her shoulders, sort of leaning on her more than anything, very slack, not like look professional looking at all, and sort of waving at the camera. And you can see whoever was taking it accidentally pressed like a finger over one side of it. And she goes through all these pictures over and over again. And then she comes to one of them. It's like, this is one of my favorites. And she pushes it forward. And you are a baby in this picture. And Edric is holding you. And she smiles and says, I took this one. That's why it's not crooked. And it's a picture of Edric holding this very, very small you. There is one woman by his side with her hand on his shoulder, a long sort of dark braid of hair sort of down across one shoulder. She's in sort of very, very long boots, a set of trousers and a shirt. And then a man the other side of him looking at you, sort of grinning more than anything, with a smiley sort of stubble on his face, a very square jaw, in a long coat and a green wide-brimmed hat with a bear pin on the top. And she pushes that forward, is like, that's one of his favorites as well. And she closes the box and pushes it all forward. This is all yours now. Take what you want, keep it. If you want me to keep it for you, I can do that too. But, and she pushes the necklace forwards. I think he would have wanted you to wear this.
Paula takes the necklace into her hands and looks at it a little bit closer. before clasping it on her neck and kind of feeling it on her chest. Why didn't you do anything when
What do you mean?
he disappeared? Why didn't you do anything?
And she reaches out and holds both your hands in hers. I did everything he told me to do.
What? Disappeared?
Yes.
That can't.
He was supposed to come back. He didn't.
You. No. If he was so brave and adventurous, he wouldn't have told you to just sit around and wait for him to never return.
And she looks down. I don't know what he did or where he has gone, but I know he did it so that we were okay.
Are we going to be okay, though? I mean, I'm getting followed home by shadows and my friends are getting stabbed. I don't... Where is he now? You know, like, I don't feel very okay.
I don't know where he is. I looked for a while.
How could you be so passive?
I wasn't. And that caused us problems. At first, I didn't do as he said. I caused a lot of problems, in fact. I just hope it didn't hurt him in any way if I did.
Listen, I'm not trying to blame you. I mean, it's not your fault that he's gone. But all I can think right now is that there's a possibility that he's out there and we're just sitting here waiting for him to show up again or not show up again. Did he just abandon us? That's so much for my heroic adventuring father who wasn't there for me.
And she pauses and looks a little bit sad. The reason he's gone is so that we are okay. I fully believe that. If he can come back, he will. He would have never left you lightly. He spoke about our futures, doing things with you, moving, leaving Kanan, getting away from the church, going places that he'd tell me of so many places we could have gone. And he went to help someone, a friend, and they both disappeared. And I don't know where either of them are, but they were both good men and would never, ever leave to just leave.
Is this his friend? And I'll hold up the picture.
And she nods, her eyes sort of half closed in acceptance. Yes.
Who was he?
A good man. I think his name was Tom.
Does he have anyone in this city? Where's, like, can we talk to anyone to try to figure this out?
And she sort of pauses. I don't know. If I'm honest, I've been looking into this for years. I will give you everything I have. Everything. I don't know what happened to this man either. And she sort of taps into the picture of Tom.
I'm not going to let this rest, Mom. I
think you would.
I have resources now at the library. I have friends in the church and out of the church and apparently in the Tangle, and I'm gonna figure this out.
And she just nods.
I have to get back to the library soon. But
Can I have another hug?
Of course. Paula will give her mother another hug.
And she doesn't let go for a long time. And we're going to hop back over to Tolan. And Tolan, you're washing up dishes. And Aggie has moved away from the drying up. And you can smell herbs and meat cooking, almost like a stew. There is a breeze coming through the back stable doors as she's left it open, propped it open. And the cats are running in and out. They seem to be chasing each other more than anything else. And she looks over to you. You're not done with that yet.
Just trying to finish up.
Good, because I'm going to need those plates in a bit. Where is Afric? And sort of looks out, goes to look out the window.
I mean, was at Brew and Bindings. It was slow. I don't know whether he'll stay there tonight or come back here.
Okay, well, I'll make enough for him anyway, and then you can take it to him tomorrow if he doesn't arrive.
You always do.
Portion control problems.
You are a seeker. Like me.
Yes.
Your husband was the researcher.
Well, someone had to know the stories.
Yes. I suppose they did. So, I must know. You said you bumped into a strange tall man from Philadris.
Yes.
This compass. Do you know Ivan? Or did Tom? You see, he gave me that story that I said had been made, had taken form, and he was a seeker as well. We spoke a little bit. I let him know where some of the places that are heavily watched are, told him about the water holes that are tainted so he wouldn't bump into the authorities if he needed to skirt around them. So, he just happened to sell this compass to Fuzzy Old Lady, or is there something more you need to, or want to, tell me? Are you going to let me figure it out on my own?
He didn't sell me anything.
Of course he didn't. Oh, Aggie. You do like to keep it exciting, and you knew I'd want to chew on a mystery, didn't you?
She nods. You're a seeker, it's what you do.
Apparently so are you. So
She nods.
So I know you know how to keep safe. Skirt the rules when necessary.
I do. It's the same ones you taught to Averick.
Yes. So, can you tell me anything more of this compass? It's pointing at something.
But it doesn't point north.
It certainly doesn't.
And she smiles. It doesn't need to point north.
What does it point toward?
And she taps her nose. I can't tell you that until after I've seen the seers.
You know, it's strange. They haven't called me in this time, even though I'm sure my name's been mentioned. I'm not
They
kidding.
probably think you've got nothing to do with it.
Well, then I'm broken. Beyond repair, and couldn't possibly.
Or misleading truths and stories.
Let's hope that that's not the case. I'm not kidding, though. I will tear that church apart if you disappear. I've had one seeker who I still don't know what happened to. I don't want to have there be another.
She pauses for a moment, nods, almost sadly. True.
So, is it time for me to start reading? Or is it better to see whether or not I'm going to get called in?
She pauses. I don't think they're going to call you in.
I don't think they are either. And if they do, I've beaten them before, and I can beat them again.
That you can, Tollan, that you can. Likewise.
I suspected as much.
And she smiles again. Stir the pot, will you? I'm going to go get changed.
Of course.
And she sort of shuffles off. And as she goes, you see her sort of take off this. She's got one of her sort of very heavy cardigans on. She sort of drapes over the side of the sofa as the cats come thundering after her. And she pulls that sort of stick out of her hair, and a long braid falls down the side over her shoulder as she walks up the stairs. And the smell of cooking smells really good as it stews away in the kitchen. And that's where we'll leave Doors of Dunera this week for season 2. We didn't get everything done on the list, but it doesn't matter because I need to keep reminding myself. Long campaign.
Oh, Alice.
Okay.
Whoa, Alice. Alice.
Oh, Alice.
Oh,
So good. Oh, so good.
delightful.
Alice.
Everyone good?
Yes.
Okay. Then, Thank you everyone for coming in and to join us back for the beginning of our season 4. We love this game so much, and thank you for also having so much love for this game. Please check out all the links that are coming up in chat now. We would love to hear what you think on the Discord. And also a huge thanks to our wonderful, wonderful sponsors in the form of Bird in the Storm, and also Mage Hand Press, where you can see both of their links just down there coming in now. So other than that, we'll see you next week for the second episode of season 2 to see what's going on. And keep evoking emotions, everyone, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.